Asia's biggest agro exhibition, Maha, is back. Bring your family to discover the agriculture, horticulture, and agritourism with exciting attractions and live performances by your favorite artists. Maha 2026, 28th August to 6th September at My Amsterdam.
Wong Chen has joined Bersama after 17 years with PKR. Meanwhile, Harapan Youth has called on the coalition to rethink its cooperation with BN. Stay tuned for this and more on KiniNews. Former Subang MP Wong Chen has officially joined Bersama today after 17 years as a PKR member. He announced this at a press conference at a Bersama's party headquarters in Puchong.
Untuk clarification untuk semua, saya resign pada hari Isnin, pukul 5, 5 o'clock Monday. I resigned as a member of Parliament for Subang. It was a very difficult decision to make, but absolutely necessary, absolutely, in my point of view, warranted that I have to do this. This is the next step of my political journey. And then on Tuesday morning, I haven't put this up, but Tuesday morning, I went to the PKR HQ and tendered my resignation with immediate effect. So I have officially left the party PKR that I've served for 17 years. It was a heartbreaking moment for sure.
Wong cited a list of personal insults to his career while in government and his professional background as a corporate lawyer as a reason for his departure. Specifically, he alluded to his removal as a non-executive chairperson of Malaysia Debt Ventures in May without any explanations. This is despite him leading the GLC under the Finance Ministry back to profitably during his 3-year tenure. On May 17th, Wong was among PKR MPs who attended Bersama's launch. He later discovered his parliamentary office had been blocked from the MyKas allocation portal and publicly protested the move on May 22nd. 3 days later, the Finance Ministry issued a letter terminating his MDV chairpersonship, effective May 31st.
Earlier, the Election Commission had announced that there would be no by-election for the Subang parliamentary seat. The decision follows confirmation that the seat had become vacant after Wong resigned as its MP.
In a statement, EC Chairperson Ramlan Harun said the EC received notification from Dewan Rakyat Speaker Johari Abdul via a letter dated August 11th regarding the vacancy of the Subang parliamentary seat after it was declared vacant under Article 51 of the Federal Constitution. He added that under Article 54(1) of the Federal Constitution, Johari had informed the EC that there was no need to fill the vacancy. Therefore, he said there will be no by-election for the seat. By-elections are not required if Parliament's term is due to end within 2 years.
The Kuala Lumpur High Court has ordered Rosmah Mansour to credit the 67.46 million ringgit payout to Lebanese jeweler Global Royalty Trading (SAL) or GRTS into a joint stakeholder account accessible to the party solicitors. Judicial Commissioner Marianne Antoinette Ghani, in granting Rosmah a conditional stay of execution this morning, also ordered her to make the payment within 1 month from today.
The judge referred her decision to a stakeholder mechanism decided in a Court of Appeal case where a judgment sum was paid to the appellant's solicitors and stakeholders in finding that it was the appropriate solution while an appeal is pending. She said this balances both parties' rights while Rosmah's appeal is pending as GRTS is a foreign entity with no business presence or assets in Malaysia. She added that there would be a real risk that Rosmah may not be able to recover the judgment sum should the payout be credited directly to the plaintiff if she succeeds in her appeal later on. However, she said that GRTS is at liberty to proceed with execution if Rosmah fails to deposit the judgment sum as ordered today. Rosmah was ordered in June to pay the sum over her failure to return 43 pieces of jewelry, which the company co-signed to her in 2018. She then appealed against the decision and applied for a stay of execution, resulting in today's decision. GRTS filed a suit against Rosmah in 2018, seeking 44 pieces of jewelry to be returned, but later withdrew it and refiled the case in 2023. One piece of the jewelry had been returned to the company. From now on, you can also listen to KiniNews on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Scan the QR code on the screen to follow us.
DAP will vote on whether to remain in the federal government on August 16th. Several party figures have predicted that delegates will back retaining the party's government positions during the vote at the National Congress.
DAP's former Skudaya Assembly person Wu Cheng-hao said sentiments observed among the grassroots so far indicate that they would prefer the party to remain part of the federal coalition government through its representation in the cabinet. He said the feedback he received was that it is in the best interests of the party and the country for DAP to serve out its mandate until the end of the government's term and let the people judge the party's performance. However, Wu cautioned that such support hinges on whether the party's leadership can show that it is making reasonable efforts to rectify and address its shortcomings. Meanwhile, former Klang MP Charles Santiago also expects the status quo to prevail. When contacted, Charles said that beyond considerations of political stability, such a stance could also be attributed to a desire to avoid the problems associated with finding replacements if the relevant positions are vacated. A Selangor DAP delegate who requested anonymity also told Mishikini that members surveyed favor remaining in the cabinet. The delegate said they were of the view that DAP should retain its influence to pursue reforms and fulfill its promises for as long as it has the mandate to do so. He described the current situation, where DAP has office holders in the cabinet, as better than nothing at all. The delegate added that most members would remain loyal to the party regardless of the vote. Head to malaysiakini.com to read the full story.
Moving on to BN, with the Malacca polls expected to be called soon, a key question is whether BN and PN can agree on seat allocations if they are to continue their pact. BN has stated that it will defend the 21 seats it won in the 2021 state election. This would leave PN with just 7 seats to contest.
However, BN's claim to those seats is based on a flawed premise, as the results of the 2021 election were heavily skewed. Low turnout of 65.8% then, amid the COVID-19 pandemic, allowed BN to capitalize on the first-past-the-post system. It won 75% of the seats with just 38% of the vote. A year later, turnout in GE15 jumped to 79.8%, and BN failed to win a single parliamentary seat in Malacca, while PN and Harapan each won 3. If the voting patterns in G15 were translated into a state election, it suggests that PN would have won 10 seats, while BN would have won just 4. Commenting on this, Sunway University political scientist Wong Chin Huat said the data indicates that BN has neither the might nor the right to demand 2/3 of the seats, as it did in Negeri Sembilan. Wong suggested a 15-13 split between BN and PN. Meanwhile, International Islamic University Malaysia political scientist Shaza Shukri said a 50-50 split would be fairer. However, she said the scenario would change if BN were to consider Melaka Harapan Chief Adli Zahari's call for negotiations between the Madani partners. If that were the case, she said it would test whether PN is willing to give way to BN more than Harapan would.
Meanwhile, Pakatan Harapan's youth wing has called on the coalition to reassess its cooperation with BN following recent political developments. It stressed that political cooperation should be based on trust, respect, and shared principles rather than numerical considerations.
In a statement, it said Harapan must not be seen as a shield for BN over various past issues, which ultimately weakens and damages Harapan's own image. It also called for Harapan chapters in all states to be given room to review their cooperation with BN at the state level. The statement was issued by Harapan Youth Chief and DAP Youth Chief Wu Ka Leong, PKR Youth Chief Kamil Abdul Munim, and Amanah Youth Chief Hasbi Muda. Ties between the two coalitions have been strained following the recent state elections in Johor and Negeri Sembilan. This is despite their continued cooperation in the federal government. The partnership has also come under scrutiny within Harapan, with DAP delegates due to convene at a special congress on August 16th to decide whether its leaders should continue holding government posts.
And that is all from me today. For more stories, you can go to KiniTv.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, X, YouTube, and Facebook for the latest news updates. I'm John. Thanks for watching.